When you run your business online, you want your videos to look as professional as you are. So today, I'm gonna show you how to transform your videos from looking like this to looking much more professional like this. And the best part is you can do this all for less than $500, and Amazon can bring it right to your door. So first things first, let's talk about getting you framed up properly. And what I mean by that, what your camera sees, you want you to fill most of that space. So instead of looking like this, which I see on so many Zoom calls, adjust your camera so that you fill the frame, again, what the camera sees. So you're the central focus. The next thing you want to do is to make sure that you clean up your background. Now mine's not super decorated or anything, but it's not really cluttery. Unlike if you look at this side of the room, you see what I mean? The other thing that you're gonna wanna do is if you have any windows in the room that you're working in, is you wanna have control over the light. So if you're there and you're shooting videos just at random, all kinds of times a day, you're gonna wanna block up the windows with a good blackout curtain. You can get some good cheap ones from Amazon like this. So once you've done that, now we can start talking about lights. The first light we're gonna talk about is the key light. That's this big light you see right here. We are gonna put that about 45 degrees away from our camera. So you can do that on either the right side or the left side of the camera. So the key light, you'll see right here, we have this great big key light right here. This is a studio light. You don't need a studio light. You can get a good light with a good softbox for much less, like this one. Now the important thing to note with this is the softbox. The softbox is just what makes the light look really soft and flattering on your face. It's gonna make you look good. So let's go ahead and place this light where it needs to be. We're gonna put it on the right side of our camera, because as you can see, I have my camera here on the top of my monitor, my main monitor, and then I have this vertical monitor on the left side and another table, so there's not a lot of room for a light on that side. So I'm gonna use the right side. As you can see, we've seriously brightened up the area. And I also want to point out that if you don't have a lot of room, like I do with the desk against the wall, you can actually take your key light and you can bring it around and actually shine it straight at the wall. Especially if maybe you don't have a softbox and you need to really soften that light. If you bounced off a wall, that'll actually help. And it keeps light from spilling into your background so that you can decorate your background really nicely too. So now you can see how it looks with the light bouncing off of the wall. We still have our overhead lights on and we're gonna turn those off at the end. So the next thing you need to do is we're gonna wanna set up our fill light. So the fill light is gonna be this little guy right here. It's just a basic LED panel, came in a set of 3 like this. And the fill light is just gonna be opposite of our key light. So we have our key light here, which you can, like I said, you can just set the key light up pointing straight at you. If you have room, if you don't have room, you can bounce it off the wall so it's still coming at you from that 45-degree angle, and just put your fill light opposite of that. So our fill light's pretty close to being in the right spot. I'm gonna bring it over here. Again, it's great if you can soften this light. If you have a little panel like this, one trick, as long as your light doesn't get very hot, you can even just put a piece of paper over this and that'll help soften the light. So I'll turn my fill light on. And I just so happen to know that I do need to turn the brightness down on the fill light, otherwise it's a little too harsh. So I'm gonna bring that down. Now we've got our key light and our fill light set up. So the last thing we need to do as far as lighting is the background lighting. And I have these 2 LED panels that can do colored lighting. And what I'm gonna show you today is just an easy trick to make your background look good. Like I said, mine's not terribly decorated. If you've got a good eye for decoration, feel free to decorate up your background however you like. Have fun with it. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna turn these on, and I've pre-selected some colors. So we have yellow and blue, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna put these just off camera, as you can see here. So bring these, and we're gonna place them just off screen, like so. And then we'll do blue on the other side. And we're just gonna point them at the back wall there. That one's off screen, but as you can see, our fill light is still on camera. We don't want this one here. So we just need to slide that back until it's off camera, and we'll get the cord off camera too, so that everything looks clean, it looks nice. You probably don't see a huge difference right at the moment, but the next step is that we are going to turn off our overhead room lights. All right, so room lights off. Bring my chair back in so we can take a look. It's looking pretty good. Right off the bat, I can see that the yellow light is like hitting right here a lot and not so much out here. And the blue light's sort of the same way, so I'm gonna just tweak them. Just a little more. So they're pointing more like straight back at the wall. I'd rather have them kind of fade into each other in the middle. And I think that looks pretty good. So that's pretty solid. The one thing you can do to make it look a little nicer is if you can adjust your white balance manually. You can see it brought in just a little bit more of the yellow, and everything's looking pretty good. So as you can see, this looks much better than at the beginning of the video. So now that your lighting's done, don't forget that audio is half of the viewing experience. So you can get a studio microphone like this one, or you can even get a lav mic like the one that I'm wearing. And one final tip we have is that we recommend using a DSLR style camera. This is because those cameras give you a nice blurred background and help separate you from the background and drawing the focus in on you and your message. So that DSLR will look kind of like this. Now you know how to set up your studio at home. However, I know this can be a frustrating process, especially if you've never worked with cameras or lighting before. So if you find yourself feeling a little stressed or overwhelmed as you're trying to set this up in your house or office, and you'd like some professional help, feel free to book a call at the link below, and we'd be happy to help.